Watch how Luminar Neo's new restoration feature revises old photos. Is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to bring to you one of the newest features to the big fall update, which is photo restoration. And it's kind of a blessing in disguise. So once I did it and I put it on social media, everyone and their brother was sending me their photos, especially my family, on how they're giving me hardest images to restore. And it does an amazing job. But if you want to take it to the next level, let me show you what I've been working on. And soon, coming up real soon, you'll be able to try this on your own. So watch this. My brother Joe was sitting in his chair on a Sunday, and he said he has this picture of Grandma. Now, I've never seen this photo, and I'm looking at it. It's the original. It's one of the originals, and I can't believe he never shared it with the rest of us. Well, instead of him scanning it, he took his cell phone. I'm not saying my brother's lazy, but in this case, he was lazy. Snapped the shot. I said, Joe, could you at least keep it straight? He sent me another one, and this is the shot he gave me. Let's see what we can do with this, right? So I love the shot. Now, it's horrible. We're going to turn it into this. Now, I'm going to take it, and this is going to take a little while. You have full, color, and scratches, and I'm going to hit restored now just so I can explain what each of them are doing. So full is going to take care of the color and the scratches, and it just restores the entire image. If you just want it to use the same color that the original image has, you'll hit color. If you want to if you want to colorize it, you'll hit color. If you want to keep the original tone, but fix the image with the scratches, the dullness, and all that, then you hit scratches. So there's 3 levels you could choose, all right? Now, it does take a while for this to work because, again, what it's doing is just absolutely amazing. But what I like about this is while it's working on it, look at this, I can still move on. Like some of the other tools we have, it stops you can't move on and do other things. Here, at least I can go and start browsing or working on another image. So it gives us that ability to be able to continue our work while that's working in the background. Now, obviously, if I don't do any work and I just let it use all of the resources, it'll be much quicker. So that's entirely up to you. But if you have other things you need to work on, let's say you're culling your images, you're trying to figure out what we're going to do with each one of them, then you do that. All right. So there we are. Now, so I restored it, and this is the one it came up with. I liked this version much better. So if you don't like the outcome, do it again, and you just keep working. I'm going to use this image here. So let's jump over to edit. Now, obviously, this image, look what it did. First of all, it did a great job on the image, but it still needs a little work, all right? So in this case, what I did, I'll get right to it, is, of course, I cropped it. I'm not going to go through the full. I'll just give you the idea of what we're doing. So yes, I came in, I did the crop, of course, and then I did use Gen Swap to get rid of like these areas here, or you could just use the clone and stamp tool. It's entirely up to you, but the concept of what we're trying to do with this, let me see if I have it here. And by the way, what I need to point out is when it does the restore, just like all the other generative tools, it gives it a new place. It saves it and puts it into a new subfolder, and that subfolder is photo restoration. Now, I personally, I like to have the image back where it came from. So I know I did this under photo restoration, and I did under underscore complete. So what I would recommend here is, let's say photo restoration is our family photos. Right click, create a new subfolder and just call this complete, or you can call it to be processed, whatever you want it to do. And then what I would recommend is you take that image we just did, let's say this image here, and drag and drop it to that folder there. So keep in mind with Luminar Neo, what you see is what you get. It mimics what's on your system. So by me moving it from inside Luminar Neo, it moved it on my hard drive into that location. So now it's nested where the original image was. So that's just a quick little extra workaround there. Now that I have it here, I am going to enhance it more. So let's come into develop. I do want to enrich the tones, black tones a little bit, maybe bump shadows. And actually, you know what? Let's just hit auto adjust and see what that does. Okay, but you know what? I want it a little bit richer. All right, now that I have that set, in this image here, I am going to go to my face, and I know my grandmother's eyes were brown. And look what it's doing. Look how it's finding her eyes. All right, so I did this now because we're on Zoom and I'm doing this as a broadcast. Let me get back to the one I did here. Here we go. So I'm going to use this image here, and I'll tell you why. I'm not taking you through the whole step, because what I did do was I brought it through upscale. So these are time sensitive, not time sensitive, length. It takes time to do these. I dragged and dropped it into upscale. So now I have more pixels, megapixels to work with, and it's just giving me better results. So on this particular image, this is what I did to it. Look close. Ready? Boom. So I'm going to come over here to edit, and I'll show you what I did here. All right. So I did use the clone and stamp tool. And look what I did here. I just went in, cropped it in really tight now that it's a larger image. And now I was able to enhance it. Remember what I said? My brother used his phone, sent it to me, didn't even email it. He texted it to me. So the quality is not where it really should be. But look what that did here. Then Face AI. Here's what we did with Face AI. I went in with her eyes. And I kept the eyes the same color. You know, Grandma, sorry. I'm not going to change her eyes to something that's not natural. Brown eyes looks good. And then from here, I did the eye enhancer because we generated the eyes here. I don't want to go overboard with the eye enhancer because look what it's doing. It's not going to make it look natural. Because the rest of the image, don't forget, is still an older image that was taken with a cell phone. So I don't want it to be perfect because it's not going to match the rest of the image. Now from here, the dark circles under the eyes. Look at this. I don't want to go overboard because, again, my grandmother had to be in her 80s in this photo. So I don't want her to look like she's in her 60s or 50s or 60s. So I'll do just enough, enhance the eyebrows, and then the mouth. And by the way, I've always seen my grandmother only in black. I was 8 years old when she passed. So to see even a little bit of color here blew my mind. And then for her lipstick, I don't remember my grandmother ever wearing lipstick, but I kept it very subtle. All right. Now that we did that, I love my Enhance AI. Look what it's doing. Just a little extra depth to it. And then structure. With the structure AI, it's going to adjust very lightly the clothing, everything but her face, since it's human aware. And then now we're going to draw the attention to my grandmother, and that's with vignette. Now to match the skin tone, we could use develop and dial back the highlights, but instead I chose super contrast. Look at the difference, especially on her skin. Ready? Before, a little washed out. Well, now it revitalized it. Notice I didn't use skin softening because, again, I want to respect the image and her age. I like it right where it's at. Now, I did notice a little shine here. I like it, but if you don't like that shine, then you can come back in to skin. Back to it. There we go. Skin, and then remove shine. It's very, very subtle. It's not really recognizing it 100%. You see it right in here. So it's not going to make a difference. So I'm going to leave it as is. All right. So now that I have all that set, let's look at the difference. So here we are. Look at that. Now I did do one extra thing, one extra step. Look at the catch light in the eyes. Look at the catch light. Ready? With the catch light, I did erase a little bit of the specular highlight. And what I also did, notice underneath, right here, just a little bit, I added a reflector underneath. So we added a touch. So let me get back to the eyes. Here we are, right here, iris flare. So I added if you go overboard, look at this. That's just too much. That's not enough. So you have to do it to taste to where, okay, that's believable. That looks like it could have been taken like that. So overall, I have no problem with it. I like it. And then, let me get back to it right here. There we go. Begin this to here. I sent this to my family. My brother wrote back, Robbie, I'm in tears. This is the image I've always loved of Grandma, and he has it right by his chair. So now what I did from there is I ran it through one more time, upscale. So now if I were to export this, let's look at the size. This size, look, it's 1266. That's not big enough. That's not a good enough size to print an 8x10. So instead, we will bring it in through upscale. I already thought I did. Oh, I did. It's over here, but we'll do it again. I'm going to do it 4 times its size. Upscale. Shouldn't take too long. But now the image is going to be ready for me to send it off. There it is. Oh, I did do it. So, and here it is. Now if I export it. Oh, look at that. 5064 by 6752. That's more than enough pixels to be printed as a beautiful 8x10. And yeah, this is going to be a Christmas gift that I'm going to give to my nieces and my nephews, because I don't think they've really seen a lot of our old family photos, because my brother and my sister, I don't want to say they lock them away, but they're fragile and they're worried about them because they're the originals. Some of these images were taken back in my parents' wedding, 1949. So then my sister and brother, here they are, my family's wedding photos. There we are. Here's the scanned image. They don't want them to get ruined. Now, a lot of these are under glass, my sister's house. But I know my nieces and nephews would love to look at these. But you know, our generation, that generation, is going to love to do it on their phone. So I exported all of them. Ready for this? Boom. Now I can send that to them with a little web gallery. Let me go a little bit further down. See the family restore. Yep, these are the ones. So here they are. I'm going to open it up on the web. What does this help me to do? I no longer have to answer emails. I no longer have to say to them, all right, fine, which one did you want? Let me go find it, tag it, attach it, send it to them. Now they're all in one location. I can share the link to them. And right here, look at this. They could download all 33 photos. It's a blessing and a curse. Oh, by the way, just realized I put other images in there. All right, but I'll redo that to get to my family. That's a blessing and a curse. Because remember, you have that link now. Anybody can download those images. So if you're going to do something like this with your images, just remember, it's just like social media. If people want that image, they're going to copy it, and bring it down. So don't post something publicly that you don't want the world to download and use. In this case, I asked my family. They have no problem with sharing those images, with everybody are watching this. So there we have it right here again. Look at these shots. I've done a few of them. In fact, photo restoration. Oh, here we are. Look at this. I love this shot. It's always been my favorite of my parents. Two young Italian couples, not just starting out in life, didn't have a lot of money. You look at this image and you're thinking, wow, that just looks beautiful. I always thought a nice celebrity couple. It looked awesome. My mother loved it because, again, it showed her simpler times, and she would always say that. We were just starting out. We were young. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love. And you can see it in these photos. So now I'm looking through all of these, and now I can't wait to share these with my nieces and nephews, and of course, the rest of my family. Let me do one more. Okay, this one right here was redone. Adjustment. Okay, rotate. Let's move it to the right. Oh, there we are. Look at that. So I just love what it's been doing. Now, let's keep a couple things in mind. I want to manage your expectations. If you have horrible photos, like the one my brother sent, you have to manage your expectations to understand the results may not be perfect. If they were perfect, you would have kept the original. Whoever would have kept the original under glass or under a special box where air can't get to it. This is the next best thing. So, no, it's not 100% perfect, but that's the beauty of it. There's beauty in the flaws. So I can't wait for you guys to try this out on yours. I am eventually, when I go to Syracuse, I am going to at Christmas sit there in a room all by myself, or maybe my nephews, and we're going to scan thousands of our family photos, and I am going to make a little ebook for the rest of the family or a photo album that we can keep and pass down from generation and not have to worry about the images being ruined or destroyed. I can't wait to see what everyone else is going to be doing with these. All right? Now, we're going to end right here, but I do want to show you something pretty cool. These are some of the images that I got really excited about on our Facebook group. I'm just going to breeze through these here. Look at these shots. And during the after hours, where I'm going to sit down and talk to everyone, I'm going to give my own personal critique on why I chose those images. So if you want to be a part of that, please make sure you see right here on our Facebook group. Go to our Facebook group, log in there, and then you could also join Zoom so you can be part of the Ask Me Anything segment that we'll be doing here. All right? So if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. Everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.